know that, at a wine tasting event, it is okay to spit the wine out? When attending such events, it is acceptable to take a sip of wine and hold it in your mouth for a few seconds and then decide to swallow or spit it out. It also allows guests to taste multitudes of wine without getting drunk. Did you know that British military tanks are equipped to make tea? There's a boiling vessel inside so crew can make tea and coffee anytime. During the Battle of Normandy in 1944, Michael Whitman, a German Tiger tank commander, knocked out 14 tanks in 15 minutes as British crews were outside their tanks on a tea break. After the war, the British military came up with the solution: install boiling vessels. The principal use of the boiling vessels is to heat ration pouches or tins. The hot water is then used for making drinks or washing. Did you know that if you point your car keys to your head, it increases the remote's signal range? This works by using your brain to act as a radio transmitter. Did you know that drinking coffee in Turkey was once punishable by death? In 1633, the Ottoman Sultan Murad IV beheaded anyone he saw drinking coffee in public. Aside from coffee being seen as a mild narcotic back then for its stimulating properties, Murad IV believed that coffee shops could encourage dangerous thoughts or speech against his rulership. Did you know that, even though smoking has been banned on airplanes, ashtrays are mandatory on every plane? This is for safe disposal in case someone breaks the law. Did you know that most AI bots are female? Studies show that most of the population prefer the sound of a female voice over a male voice. It is because if you ask voice assistants like Alexa or Siri a question, you will be answered by a pleasant and polite woman's voice. Did you know that nowadays, millionaires with just $1 million aren't considered wealthy anymore by most Americans? Now the typical American sees at least $2.4 million as wealthy. Know that a man once hired someone to slap him to avoid checking Facebook? Manish Sethi hired a woman to slap him in the face every time he tried checking Facebook at work. He paid the woman $8 an hour. Did you know that, since the beginning of newscasting, there has only been one day with no news? April 18, 1930 was such an uneventful day that the BBC's radio announcer said,
"This is the national program of the BBC. There is no news tonight, so until 9 o'clock, here is some music on record."
Did you know that Queen Elizabeth was a trained mechanic? When she was 16, the Queen joined the British Employment Agency at the Labour Exchange and learned the basics of truck repair. Apparently, she could repair tires and repair engines. Did you know that carrots can turn you orange? If you eat 3 large carrots a day for several weeks, the increased beta-carotene in your blood could turn your skin orange. Did you know that people in medieval England had rap battles? Before rap battles, there was something in medieval times called flighting. This is when two opponents would trade insults at each other, and it was widely popular in the 15th and 16th centuries. Did you know that Neil Armstrong once threatened to sue his barber for selling his hair? In 2005, Neil Armstrong once threatened legal action to his former barber who had earned $3,000 for selling a lock of his hair. The barber took no heed of the threat and went on to make over $38,000 in 2016 by selling both the hair and the barber's comb and scissors. Did you know that people who donate blood in Sweden are sent a text message each time their blood saves a life? Did you know that, in Soviet Russia, some prisoners would get tattoos of Lenin and Stalin? This was not a form of support, but in case they were sentenced to death, guards would not shoot them because it was illegal to shoot at images of their national leaders. Did you know that Michael Jackson once attempted to play the role of Spider-Man? In the late 90s, Marvel Comics announced that it was filing for bankruptcy. Michael got the idea of purchasing it so that he could remake Spider-Man the way he envisioned it. He stated that he had intended to play the role of Spider-Man, although many fans and production leads were strongly against it. Did you know that some penguins have the ability to projectile poop? Penguins poop every 20 minutes. Their poop shoots out of their bodies at high pressures and lands far away from them. They eat krill and fish, which makes their poop varying shades from pink to white. Did you know that Lana Del Rey's real name is Elizabeth Woolridge Grant? She says she chose the name because she wanted something that sounded sort of exotic and reminded her of like the seaside on the Floridian coast. Did you know that Neil Armstrong may have been the first man on the moon, but Buzz Aldrin was the first man to pee on it? Neil and Buzz also left 4 bags of their poop on the moon before returning to Earth. Did you know that cherophobia is the irrational fear of fun or happiness? People with this phobia tend to avoid any kind of situation that others might classify as fun or joyful.